Dick would probably just fly deep, deep into Forest Park, like one of the areas that's pretty well overgrown, to just rest up in the boughs for the day. Maybe do some early morning flyover of Portland just before the sun rises. You know, sometimes in those last hours you can see the leeches making moves. There's some new people moving around in the city, so maybe I'll catch eye of something interesting beforehand.
On this particular morning, as far as you can see, things are calm. You try to find the darkest spot amongst the heaviest trees you can find and nestle down to sleep. Which brings us to Betsy. How's the rest of your night going? You're getting back to your car and filling out paperwork.
Before I fill out any paperwork, I need to call my boss and tell her I lost her boy toy. I think maybe if I get ahead of the fact that he's missing and we cut his penis off, maybe I'll survive.
It got better.
I love that you didn't bring John back to the boss at all. You just let him go home.
You're starting to get the hint that perhaps you're a little more deniable of an asset.
Call your boss with her strange 6-digit phone number. Within half a ring, there's a click. Agent Caldwell, report.
We found another rift that hopefully is being secured. Unfortunately, Oliver went into the crack and we were unable to recover him during the maximum event of the portal. If we get more agents watching it, perhaps we can recover him, but for now, he's inside.
Agent Caldwell, that is extremely unmutual behavior of you.
Agree. I was not expecting what I suspect to be the actual Judas Iscariot to take over the investigation.
In the Technocracy, we require results, not excuses.
I did find another crack. I would like that to be made clear. That magic portal in Reed College is not alone, and it appears reality deviants were messing with the other one.
And I'm sure that interests the Void Engineers quite a lot. I, however, have concerns closer to hand. You have 48 hours to bring the VIP to the designated rendezvous point, or to report there yourself with your associate, who also presented considerably unmutual behavior.
I understand.
Dial tone. What does Betsy do from there?
I guess I'm heading back to the church. Yeah, I'm in the back of the car, filling out the paperwork on my computer while I wait for more agents to start securing this scene.
Within an hour, a van has pulled up. Within 2 hours, there are crews here putting tape around it to make it look like a crime scene.
If anybody were to go into that basement, it probably is a crime scene.
Oh, yeah. It's the middle of the night, so they're not too worried. You're pretty sure you see a lot of Void Engineers going in there with specialized suits and equipment.
I make sure they know that if they have any questions about discovering the scene, I'm nearby. But I got a lot of paperwork, guys. If I can focus on this paperwork.
They will ask you to submit your report to them as soon as possible. As it is, they are securing the scene. Some point in the morning, Betsy will start awake, having fallen asleep mid paperwork. But luckily, you were almost done anyway.
I was letting a primitive spell check run through the document and took a nap
Yes.
while it was taking the 2 hours this computer requires to do a spell check. I'm polite enough to, if I'm within shouting distance, turn my report in on hard copy. I'll print a copy off and walk it into the church and figure out who's in charge here.
There is Tabitha Bulsara. He will take your report, give it a quick skim, I hadn't expected reports so soon. You are efficient, Miss Caldwell.
I do my best, and being threatened with decommissioning if I don't get that mage back from the portal within 48 hours helps.
She will raise an eyebrow that you should definitely request a transfer.
There's not a lot of use for reporters in ItX or the engineers. I don't know how I feel about working for the Syndicate.
No, but your supervisor's gonna get you killed. As it is, I only have a number of AF generators. I only have so many suits. I'm not sending in. She'll look you up and down. You for this mission. I need experienced personnel. And not experienced with muckraking, as noble as that section of the NWO and assuredly is. We need soldiers.
Or at least very powerful guinea pigs. I will reference the point in my document where I show that there is a hemophagic stronghold near Burnside Skate Park. I saw one of them come out. Perhaps they can cross the barrier more easily.
Perhaps I will have to have this one hunted down. She's studying the report. It says you lost a VIP. They were thrown through the portal by Judas Iscariot. She'll raise another eyebrow at this.
That's what the detective determined their name to be. If the detective causes that to be true, I tend to believe.
I will take your report. The individual, I assume that is the one that you are required to retrieve.
The VIP, yes, the one thrown into the portal.
They did seem to be the one with the strongest reaction to the rift. It doesn't seem to be terribly active with you in the room. She'll look over at the crack, running almost floor to ceiling with a thin golden line. Hasn't changed more than a few percent since we arrived.
You don't mind me saying so. Thank goodness.
The other side you described as a golden static?
Point out the photos I have taken that are uploaded into the document and say, yes, I could not look through it without physically approaching it. Surrounded as it was by reality deviants, I figured staying in the back and being able to give a report was probably more helpful than dying in whatever that is.
Indeed, we're probably going to have to send a whole ship through. That doesn't look habitable. That's if we can get it back open. We just lost one of our best keys to doing so. Were you to recover this VIP, you would certainly have a measure of my gratitude.
I give the kind of nod that is like accepting an order that you're not sure how you're going to fulfill, but this is clearly a superior officer, so you're not going to tell him no.
As it is, we will do our best to retrieve this individual alive, but we make no guarantees. Our main priority is sealing the breach, not conducting a rescue mission.
I understand. This deviance of reality needs to end.
Still, Brown, this isn't deviance. This is damage. Your obsessions blind you to the nuances. I would urge you to see more shades of gray. Now, if there is nothing else,
No, you got my number if you need any more information. I'm going to go stake out that hemophage layer and see if I can find out anything more. They foolishly turned on a television for me.
as you walk away, there is a shower of sparks off to your right. You almost think it might be the rift opening again, but you look over and it's down the stairs and they're cutting through the lock on the big metal door.
I'll look over at this engineer and say, I wasn't able to take a peek. Do you mind?
The guy shrugs, dark goggles over his eyes. He puts the grinder back to work and finishes sawing apart the locking mechanism. He pulls the thing open. There's a smell of smoke and blood and shit. It's dark in there, but the engineer finds a light, flicks it on. It looks like it was a Sunday school classroom. All of the Christian imagery has been torn down or defaced in some way. There are symbols on the walls, but mostly there's handprints. There are 4 sets of chains secured heavily with bolts to each corner of the room. One has an empty set of manacles. You can see handprints all over that corner. Scratch marks in the floor where the manacles end. The other 3 corners have corpses in varying degrees of freshness. The oldest one, you couldn't tell what happened to them. The smell is choking. The next has lost fingers and toes, and its teeth are broken. The freshest one looks like it might have been killed a week ago, if that. A man just starting to bloat, naked, with half of the fingernails on one hand missing, blood down his chin, and bright red wound with stain all down his legs. His genitals have been removed.
I almost instinctively take a couple of photos. I know in my head I'm gonna have to be the one to spin this, so Satanic Serial Killer Uses Church Basement is the headline I'm using to distract myself from the fact that I was almost victim number 4. Is there anything about this basement that seems particularly trying to think how to put this? Magic? Like, this could just be mundane serial killers if it weren't for the magic portal upstairs, yeah?
Yeah, there's satanic symbols and shit all over the place. It could be some delusional sleeper, but this could be Nethandic activity.
Do I think I'm good enough at my job, manipulate the images I'm taking enough to remove all of the actual reality deviance that it seems visible here and just leave the stuff that I know isn't real?
Certainly. You can essentially run the images by somebody else in the Technocracy to be like, hey, scan this through our library.
Make sure I'm not putting out anything that's actually harmful. Please, K, thanks, bye.
Exactly. A little shaken, the void engineer who busted in with you, retching outside the door, just gives you the biggest what the fuck look when you start taking pictures.
Your job is to deal with the insane. My job is to hide it from the sleepers. And somebody's got to come up with an excuse for why this church is closed.
Man, I don't envy your job, and right now I don't envy mine either. Fuck.
Black suits are often able to fully suppress their gag reflex. It may be worth trying to get somebody behind the glasses to clean this up. You're basically half robot at that point.
Yeah, we'll probably have the bodies sent over to the progenitors, honestly. Doesn't look like any EDEs in here.
Thank
Just
God.
corpses.
I'll show him a picture of Clarissa that I took and say, yeah, she appeared to be in charge.
Fucking danger in small packages, like cigarettes.
Agreed.
Speaking of,
And,
he'll pull out a pack and go outside.
I'll go with him, but to go to my car.
He's yelling out to a few people that they got corpses in the basement and get a med team in here.
We're way past med team, buddy.
They're the ones who deal with the corpses anyway. We need to figure out how they died. And John, at home, trying to get out a TV dinner and microwave it with Ollie's dick still super glued to his hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna see a doctor about it in the morning. You learn to live with your disability, okay?